Chapter 5. The Unspoken Truth. Harry had barely left Louis's house that night, but the taste of their kiss was still on his lips. Every step home, his mind replayed the moment over and over, the way Louis's hands had cradled his face so softly, yet with a quiet intensity. They hadn't talked about it. How could they? It felt too fragile to be picked apart by words. But the silence between them, unspoken as it was, grew heavy. They both felt it, so when Louis texted him the next day, "Come over again." Same time, Harry felt his heart skip a beat. His fingers fumbled over the screen in response, "On my way." Asterisk. The moment Harry walked through the door, something felt different. Louis greeted him with his usual smile, but there was something behind it, a flicker of nervous energy that Harry hadn't seen before. "Tea?" Louis asked, already walking toward the kitchen. Harry nodded, following him, the air between them thick with unspoken things. Louis poured them both cups, but as they sat down, Harry couldn't help but notice that Louis's gaze was distant, distracted. Finally, Harry couldn't stand it. He had to know. "Are we okay?" His voice was softer than he intended. Louis froze mid-sip, his eyes meeting Harry's. "What do you mean?" "I mean, after the other night." "After? What happened?" A heavy silence hung in the air. Louis sighed, setting his cup down. "Harry, he hesitated, as if he was carefully choosing his words. "I don't want to mess this up." "Us?" Harry's chest tightened, a knot of uncertainty settling in his stomach. "You won't. I don't want you to hold back." Louis's eyes flickered with something, but just as quickly as it appeared, he looked away. "There's just stuff I haven't told you. Things I'm not ready to say yet." Harry swallowed hard, the weight of Louis's words sinking in. He knew Louis was holding something back, but now it was undeniable. "Stuff like what?" Louis bit his lip, looking almost guilty for a second. He ran a hand through his hair, standing up abruptly. "I can't right now. I just can't." His voice cracked at the edges, a vulnerability that Harry hadn't seen in him before. Harry stood, too, crossing the small distance between them. His hand reached out, gently tugging on Louis's arm. "Hey," he whispered, his thumb tracing the curve of Louis's wrist. "I don't care what it is. You don't have to say anything until you're ready. I'm not going anywhere." Louis's breath hitched, his shoulders relaxing just a fraction as he leaned into Harry's touch. But Harry could still feel it, the weight Louis was carrying. They moved to the couch, the space between them growing comfortable once more, and for a moment, it felt like things were normal again. But Harry's curiosity gnawed at him. Louis was right there, inches away, but it felt like he was miles apart. "Have you always lived in small towns?" Louis suddenly asked, breaking the silence. Harry blinked, a little thrown by the change in subject. "Yeah, pretty much. Lived here my whole life." "Must be nice," Louis muttered, his gaze falling to his lap. "I've never stayed in one place too long." That was new. Harry had assumed Louis was just another guy moving into the town for a fresh start. He hadn't thought much about why Louis came, but now, the question hung in the air. Harry wanted to press further but stopped himself. Something told him Louis wasn't ready for that conversation yet. "Do you ever miss moving around?" Harry asked instead, trying to keep the conversation light. Louis laughed softly, but it was a hollow sound. "Not really. Sometimes it's just easier to run from things than deal with them." That sentence sent a shiver down Harry's spine, a sinking feeling twisting inside him. Louis was hiding something big. But before Harry could say anything else, Louis shifted closer to him, their knees touching. Harry's heart stuttered. That small, innocent touch made his stomach do somersaults. Without warning, Louis leaned in, his voice barely a whisper. "I like being around you, Harry. You make things simpler." Harry's breath caught in his throat, the weight of those words settling somewhere deep inside him. He swallowed, his eyes locking with Louis's. "You make things feel right, Lou." The tension between them cracked like a spark, pulling them closer. Before Harry could even think, their lips met again, this time slower, more deliberate. It wasn't just heat, but something deeper, more desperate. Louis's hands moved to Harry's face, cradling him gently as if afraid to let go. And just like that, Everything else faded away, the uncertainty, the questions. In that moment, it was just them. But then, Louis pulled back, his breath shaky. His eyes were wide, almost panicked, as if he had said too much without words. I can't stay, Louis whispered suddenly, standing up so fast that Harry barely registered the movement. I have to go. I'll see you later, Harry. Before Harry could respond, Louis was gone, the door clicking shut behind him. Harry sat there, heart pounding in his chest, staring at the door long after Louis left. What was Louis running from? And why couldn't he stay? That night, Harry lay in bed, staring up at the ceiling. The weight of the unanswered questions pressed down on him. Something about Louis's behavior didn't add up. As Harry shifted in bed, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was a message from Louis. I'm sorry. Harry's fingers hovered over the screen, unsure of how to respond. Sorry for what? For leaving? For the kiss? For the secret he was hiding? Whatever it was, Harry knew it wasn't over. He could feel it in his gut. Louis wasn't just some guy who moved into town. There was more, and if he wanted to be with Louis, he would have to unravel the mystery piece by piece. But for now, all Harry could do was wait, and wonder.